is the principal at New Tech High School in Sacramento, and she has brought a group of students with her. I'm going to turn everything over to Paula because they have a student project to present and some information.
Welcome, everybody. I did bring 6 students with us, with me, so that you'd have a chance to talk to students who are currently in the model. As a part of, as Dan said, that he came down and this is part of a project. So these students have done, and there are 2 more students that didn't get to come because they had college class. Darn. So we'll show our video and then move on to the stage and let you talk to kids. But there's one thing I would really like to say to you. Dan's not there yet, but he will be. I'm in my 8th year as a New Tech principal, and it is the best. I mean, I'm 33 years in education. It is the best thing I've ever done. You know, you get a rare opportunity to live your dream, and I've got my dream school in a dream situation with dream kids. So that part I always want to share with people. You know, there's always technological difficulties. Okay, you ready to rumble? Let's go.
All right.
New Tech is different from a traditional high school because
we apply
real-world issues
this is a place where students
be themselves. Being new here, I noticed all students are all very comfortable with their teachers. It's just this neat package. School the way school ought to be done.
Project-based learning includes professional dress presentations after each project, which gets you ready for real-world jobs.
Here at New Tech we work in groups, which is a lot different because at most schools you're just given a textbook and they write an assignment on the board and you're just working on your own assignment. But in groups you're able to collaborate with friends or people you may not know. You're able to make connections that you wouldn't normally make. And the other group members bring things to the project that you wouldn't have had originally. So maybe you're logic-based and one of your group members is more creative-based. They can bring us an angle to the project that you wouldn't have had before. So your project could potentially be a lot better than it would have been if you had just been doing that yourself.
New Tech, we teach more than just the average curriculum. We also teach people how to collaborate with others through project-based learning. Project-based learning is where instead of doing day-to-day work, you work a large project throughout a course of a couple weeks, and you have a final product at the end. These are usually real-world influenced issues that will help you build skills in the real world.
At New Tech, there's normally 2 teachers in each classroom, and they're the ones in charge of learning. They're also the ones that will help you when you need it, no matter what problem it is. If you need a workshop, they'll have it for either 20 students or even just for you, and they'll make it also a one-on-one conversation with the teacher, which also benefits you even more when you're trying to learn a certain subject.
Here at New Tech, we also have greater graduation requirements from other schools. We have to take 4 college classes in order to graduate, so we can take anything we want at the close by college, which includes psychology and all that. We can take whatever we're interested in, and then we also have our 10 learning outcomes that we will learn throughout our school life, which includes our oral proficiency, which helps us with outside life, and also critical thinking, just stuff to help us throughout our career when we get one. Also have to complete 40 hours of community service to understand the community better, and also the colleges really like that. And then the internships, we have to do a 50-hour internship. Like I'm planning on doing one with Cal Acoustics, working with acoustical ceilings, which I might be interested in as my career. And then we also have to complete a professional portfolio, which showcases what we've learned throughout our school life, which all really adds to the New Tech feel.
Yeah. Here at New Tech, we have a wide variety of really great technology that you wouldn't find at any other school. Most of it people haven't even heard of. The 1-to-1 computer ratio here really helps as we use the technology as more of a medium rather than a focus We use the internet, we use other sources in order to find the information we need. And it's much better than textbooks. And
New Tech is different because you don't ever have to change yourself to fit in. Like, you could be who you are and everyone will accept you.
Here at New Tech, we also have a really close relationship with each of our teachers. We can approach them with any topic, whether it's social or educational, and they can help us with
I
it.
feel like New Tech is a very good school to go to.
Okay, so we have to put that thing up. I'm going to introduce the students I brought with us, with me. We'll grab a seat up there, and I think Tony's going to join us, and then we're just going to be taking questions, yes? Okay, so this is Jasmine Hernandez. She's a senior at New Tech, been there all 4 years. Rachel Books, she's a sophomore at New Tech. Giorgio Tate, he's a senior at New Tech. Robert Hayani, also a senior. Kyle Wynn, a junior. And David Scarf, also a senior.
All right, Tony, if you'd like to join us and connect. So here's where we put them on the spot. So I have a series of questions. I'm going to ask just a few of you to respond to each of the questions. So if you feel a question just kind of pulling toward you, then go ahead and volunteer. We have one shared mic, so we'll need to kind of pass that along as quickly as possible. So the first question that I have to you is, if somebody could summarize in a couple sentences, what is New Tech High all about? How's that for a broad question? What is New Tech High all about?
New Tech is all about developing character and preparing us for the real world. I can't really summarize it better than that.
New Tech is about getting us in that top-ranked position for when we graduate from New Tech, giving us more opportunities and more open doors so that we can get further in our life and what we want to accomplish.
I would also say that's like also the friends that you gain during the whole New Tech, being at New Tech, you gain so much knowledge from them, and it's like very cool experience.
It's basically preparation for the job world.
So the next question, what advice would you give to a student, many who are probably sitting in the audience right now, who's considering attending New Tech High? And we have people waving for the microphone down there. They're all shy, audience. Did you see this?
Be ready.
For what?
Everything.
All right. What you need to be ready for is let me start that. When coming to New Tech, don't be afraid to be yourself, because that's what helps build New Tech. People who aren't afraid to be themselves.
When also going to New Tech, you want to be ready to accept new things, new ideas, new ways of learning. You want to be able to accept learning, working with groups. You want to be able to accept learning in not day-to-day work. You want to just be ready for something new.
I would also say that you have to get involved in all your like school activities. Try to be most like with your student, with the whole, with your students, okay. With your classmates. Be involved with them. Be involved in everything that they have to offer because it's very like a good experience that you can gain from all that.
Tanya, I'm going to ask you to weigh in on this one. You know, you've been through 4 years of New Tech. Now you're at university level. What advice would you give to students who are considering attending New Tech High School?
If you're already aware of your passion on what you want to do when you're older, I can guarantee you, no matter what it is, New Tech will help you prepare for that career. Now, a lot of careers nowadays practically require college, and just naturally going to New Tech, you'll want to achieve more. You know, it'll teach you a whole array of things on literally how to be a student. Honestly, a student nowadays isn't just someone who would just look at text and spit it back out. A student is someone who engages and makes their education more working with others, making sure that you're collaborating, you know, communicating. All of these different things will help you get to your career. And again, it doesn't matter what it doesn't matter. Honestly, it could be in aerospace or frozen yogurt chef. Honestly, New Tech will help you get to that point.
Okay. So how about another student on the panel answering? Describe what learning is like at a New Tech High School.
The best way I could put it is teaching the student how to fish rather than just giving them fish.
What I've noticed about New Tech, it's less about just doing work the teacher gives you and doing work that you give yourself. So you don't do worksheet 7A one day and worksheet 7B the next day. You do an entire project. The teachers basically give you the project and give you tips and helps along the way, but it's mostly yourself who's doing the teaching and the learning by collaborating with your group, researching, reading documents, watching videos that pertain to, sorry, I'm not to project. So yeah, that's the best way I can put it.
What's different about New Tech when it comes to learning is it's a lot more research. Like David said, you're not given the product. I mean, yeah, you're not given the product or the work itself. You go for the work and you research the work and you learn it yourself. So that's how teaching is different. Also, with the whole having workshops, some are optional, some are mandatory. If you feel you need more information on that topic, you go to a workshop with the teacher. And whether it's just going to be you, a few other students, or the whole class. That's another thing that makes New Tech different.
So people have talked about projects, and one of the projects that Mr. Neff talked about was the Sun Heavens, which was really a unique need that Haiti had, and I'm sure other third world countries. And when I visited New Tech in Napa, there was a project that I heard about, whether it was at Napa or another New Tech, of a straw. And it was a straw that students developed that had a filter inside that's actually being used for drinking water in third world countries. So all of you may not have worked on a project of that magnitude, but can a couple of you share one of your most favorite projects that you've worked on? We already have a hand down here at the end of the table.
All right, well, one of our teachers who's our visual communications teacher is one of the best people who gives you the ball and lets you run with it and helps you along the way. So my favorite project I've done is a video editing project where the teacher has gone out on the field with me, or skate park by the way, and helped me film a full-length skateboarding video by myself, to give me tips on how to edit it, how to do music, and how to put clips together and do a professional-looking video.
One of the best projects I was involved in was a mock-up trial, and it was based around
segregation in different countries. And it really taught us how to do our best historical figures voices. Like, I tried to be the best Mark Twain ever, and that didn't happen. But, yeah, but it's a really good thing to try to act out as historical figures, and it really maybe become closer to history, and that's why I'm so hooked onto history, and I need to know what happened now and in the past, so that way that can help me for the future.
One of my favorite projects was our fish kill project that we had our sophomore year. And what the problem was that fish couldn't get through a dam, and a lot of fish were being killed. And so it was our job to create sort of a ladder, a pathway for them to get through into the other side. That involved geometry, involved English, history, and biology, all those together. And it also went with our sophomore trip that we did. It was for a week. We went camping, we saw a dam, we went to different sites. It was pretty cool. But yeah, that was one of my favorite projects.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm not sure if I have an actual favorite project, but I'm going to tell you what is my sibling's favorite project. He had to do a project for a teacher, finding, building a house, and it had nothing to do with digital media or anything like that. But my sibling actually made the house, did a model of it, and the teacher actually bought the house, tried to make that house. And that was really cool because who would ever thought a student could inspire a teacher to make their own house.
Okay, Tony, I'm going to take it back to you because I have a question. Johnny, when I was talking to you earlier, you made reference when we were talking about project teams. You called your project team a professional alliance. I thought that was an interesting choice of words. So I'm going to ask you to discuss briefly why you call them a professional alliance. But also if you can touch on, say you're on a project team and one of your team members isn't cutting it. They're not getting the job done. What are you going to do about it? What can you do about it? How is that going to affect your grade?
Okay, essentially, this alliance goes beyond friendship here. It reaches into how we interact as students trying to achieve a goal. In a sense, you can even call us co-workers. Now, it's hard for me to word this, but when you're looking at someone that you know and you're talking to them, and the both of you obviously know each other, but you're going out and you're trying to actually achieve a project, come up with an end product, or achieve some goal. It really does send a different type of message. It's not like, hey dude, let's get this thing done. It's how can we get this done in the most effective manner, and all of that. And now New Tech does embrace a firing policy. I'm sure we're all aware of that, and also a contract policy. So before each project after a project begins, groups will form and they will make their own contract, and they will customize it to the specific project, to their own preferences. But getting back to firing, if there's a group member who is not holding their weight, even if you know this person or not, honestly, I remember during my sophomore year in my humanities class, I had a friend, and we fired that person. I fired my friend. It was a group decision, and we had a meeting with our teacher, and he really did not pick up his weight. And I have to say that it really hurt, not only because he was given what we achieved as a group, but he was told to finish the entire project. Whatever we didn't touch on, it was now up to him by himself. So in a way, that's good, because we didn't have to deal with relying on him and then him coming back with nothing, but it also taught him to get back on his feet. So firing is, yes, a bad thing, but it also has some benefit.
I'd like to ask the next question to Giorgio. And the next question is about internships. And I believe that you had a unique internship with the City Council. Could you briefly discuss that?
At New Technology High School, because it's so small, our counselor helps us with what we want to do, and he or she really knows what we want to do. And so I was able to get an internship with the City Council as Sacramento City Council with our mayor, Kevin Johnson. He has his council members. And there's 2 city halls in Sacramento. They just made a new city hall, and then there's the old city hall. In the old city hall, they created a youth city council city council, and I was a part of that youth city council. I represent the mayor as the other youth members represent a different council member. So being that I represented the mayor, I represented 3 districts. And what we basically did, we proposed different laws that would work for youth. We proposed it to the council members. We helped clean up parks. We tried to get things that would help interact with the youth. Like we did a youth rally in Cesar Chavez Park. And that was my internship.
Okay, would another one of you like to talk about your internship?
For my internship, I chose Plains Exploration and Production Company. They have offices in Bakersfield, on the shore, just about half an hour out. I don't know the name of the place, but it's close. And in Los Angeles, I worked with engineers in a $1 billion company. I learned the entire process of what they did. I got to fly in a helicopter to an offshore drilling rig. I got the full experience, and it really helped me narrow down what I wanted to do as a future career. I know now that engineering is what I want to do.
I also want to point out, like Kyle said, he knows what he now wants to do. What I did dealt with politics. We had to follow certain rules, like we followed the Brown Act, things like that, which helps like in my leadership class. We follow certain guidelines, and I don't really want to do politics. so yeah.
Unlike Giorgio, I am doing an internship, which is something I want to do later in life. I am interning under our school counselor. I have worked in intermediation, settling disputes between several students. I have helped students get into colleges and apply for colleges and set up their internships.
We have one more down at the end of the table.
So on the table we have engineers, politicians, and spokespersons. I applied for an internship at a comedy club. And basically I just sat behind a desk watching comedians go up on stage from Sacramento, cities around Sacramento come up. And I basically just took notes on okay, I should pause and wait for these people to laugh and just do all these, I'm just making a lot of notes in this book that I had. And I mean, that's the cool thing about having an internship is the wide variety. You could be an engineer or a stand-up comedian.
Okay, another component is community service. So I'd like just a couple of you to talk to me about, and to the audience about, what community service have you participated in?
For community service, as I said, like with our counselor, they help you out with that. I had cleaned up parks. I coached a basketball team organization with my little brother. I worked at a concession stand for Pee Wee football. I think that's all I did for community service.
For me, I volunteered at my church. I got out there to my community. I also volunteered at my old elementary school. I helped them with little stuff that they had. They have fall festivals. They have stuff I could do. They have every year they have a haunted house. I go help them every year. I also help them with the student store. I help them selling stuff. So I enjoy going back to my elementary school.
Okay, one more on community service.
Okay. So essentially during my school and community service hour requirements, I gave tours, something that Napa New Tech does. I'm pretty sure a few of the other New Techs as well. We have clubs that compose purely of students that lead tours. So, every week or so, our club would get together and we would arrange tours for the following week, and then we would, break up who would do what tour what time.
Something about community service at a New Tech, just about everything else, is sort of driven by the young person involved. So, at my New Tech, it's everything from volunteering on a teen suicide crisis line to volunteering at an elementary school. It has to be what fits them and where they're comfortable beginning that service piece. That we feel that it's pretty important one by one, student by student.
So I can ask questions till the cows come home, but in honor of time, I'm going to ask everybody to go down the line. And for the students and for Paula, and then also Dan as a new entering person into the world of new tech. And we'll start down here at the bottom, or at the top of the table. That was your alarm going off, right? Okay, so here's the question for everybody. In no more than 2 sentences, if there's one last thing that you want to tell the audience about new tech, or your experience in new tech, tell them now.
Obviously not that. Let's see. 2 sentences?
2 sentences. We got honor time.
3. Okay, so when you go to New Tech, basically just be yourself. No one's going to judge you. To be honest, no one's going to judge you. They can be as weird as you probably. So just do what you want to do.
Just like Robert said, when you come to New Tech, be yourself.
The last thing that I would say is that you're going to graduate knowing what you're going to do. I guess I would say really get involved into New Tech. You'll gain a lot of experience and knowledge.
I can say that everyone from New Tech, every graduate of New Tech, is prepared for the real world.
Going into New Tech, you just shouldn't be afraid of anything. Things are going to happen.
New Tech has collectively been one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life, and I'm so happy that I picked it over the other high schools available.
Well, this one's tough. I'd have to say it's the best thing I've ever done. And I said before that I've been in this for over 30 years. It is the one time in my entire career that the dissonance is gone. And what I mean by that is that, when you do traditional school, there's always this little piece about who did you leave behind. I don't leave anybody behind anymore. And I love that.
I would say if you want to be part of something different and be involved in a very unique opportunity to help form a radically different kind of school, come join me.
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, students in the audience, thank you so much. We are a few minutes over schedule, but what I'd like to do is really honor the students that have come so far and their principal and Tony from Cal Poly Pomona to give us an insight on what New Tech has meant to them. Thank you. Before we let you go. Again, you can sign up for the email list in the back of the room. We also have all of our team members here. Please feel free to ask them questions and visit with them before you go home tonight. Thank you so much. Have a safe trip home.